What is up, guys? It is DMG here, and today we are going to be looking at the tactics and instructions for a very fun and attacking formation that you want to use if you are down in the game or if you just want to go all out early on and try to score some goals. So the formation we are talking about is the 4-3-3 variation 4. So as I mentioned, some pros are the fact that it is very attacking. It's very fun. As you can tell, there are essentially 4 attackers because you have the striker, the 2 wingers, and then your center attacking mid, who we will make act as a striker or at least an attacker. And we also have a center mid who essentially roams forward. So yes, there are some very fun positives to this. Some negatives, obviously it's going to be a little bit tougher to defend since there is only going to be one center mid who sits back. There's no defensive mids, and it's going to be a little bit susceptible to counterattacks. Along with that, playing out with this formation when your opponent has the press on is a little bit hard to do. So when that is the case, you either have to switch formations if you want to play out of the back, or you have to essentially just boot it forward every time. So let's take a look at some of the tactics first. First of all, when it comes to the defense, we're going to have to be on balance. Width is going to be 4, depth is going to be 7. So for the defensive style, I like it on balance just because I don't want people coming out of position, especially in this formation, because it is very attacking. We don't need to be pulling people out of position, so there's no pressure on heavy touch or press after possession loss or anything like that. The width is also going to be 4, so then the left back and right back can kind of push in a little bit more and help out defensively. And then the depth is going to be 7, so it's going to be pretty high because then the defense and the midfield are going to be a little bit smushed and closer together. That way the center mid, who is more defensive and tracking back, will be able to help out more defensively. Next up for the attack, we have long ball, we have 5 width, 6 players in the box, and then corners and free kicks are obviously up to you guys. Now these 3 things here, the long ball, the 5 width, and then the 6 players in the box, all of these things essentially coincide together. So for long ball, we're going to be making a lot of runs forward just because obviously this is an attacking formation. We're essentially going to be having 4 or 5 attackers every single time that we get the ball. For width, it's going to be 5. Now typically I tend to have this a little bit more narrow. Even in my 4-3-3 variation 2 formation, I have it on 2 or 3 width, so very narrow. But for this, the width being at 5 is a little bit more important, so then you can spread the field a little bit more, and then that will also allow some more attackers to run forward, including one of your midfielders, which is also why we have players in the box at 6, so then they actually do make those runs when it is open. Essentially, you're going to have 5 players all making beeline runs forward, so that's why all of these things, long ball, 5 width, 6 players in the box, all of these things coincide, and that's why we have them all the way that they are. Now then, on to the instructions. For the goalkeeper, I just do comes for crosses and sweeper keeper. That is up to you guys. Same thing for the center backs. I have it on default, but you guys can switch it however you like. But then for the left and right backs, we have it on stay back while attacking for both of them. Typically, I will want my left and right backs to be on balance or even on join the attack, depending on the formation. But in this formation, when there's no left and right mids, we are essentially going to have 5 attackers every single time we get the ball, and there's no defensive mids. We need as much defensive support as possible. So yes, in this case, we're going to have the left and right backs on stay back while attacking. For the center mids, we have one on stay back while attacking, cover center, and then we have the other on balanced and cover center. Obviously, the one that's a little bit more attacking is going to be on balance, and the one that's a little bit more defensive is going to be on stay back while attacking. And it also does not matter which side you have them on, it just is completely up to you guys. For the center attacking mid, we have him on stay forward and free roam. Now, the reason why we have it on free roam is because it aids a little bit more in the attack. So it really helps out specifically the side where the center mid is on stay back while attacking. So for example, Duncan, our right center mid, is on stay back while attacking. So let's say we get the ball to our right winger, who is Ronaldo. Since Duncan is on stay back while attacking, he typically won't go forward to have any support. It's not as if he is a defensive mid and he won't have any support whatsoever, but obviously the fact that we don't want him to go forward because he's going to be our only midfielder who is defensive, we do need a little bit more support. So in this case, El Shaarawy, our cam, who is on free roam, will kind of drift drift to that side and aid a little bit more for the build-up play. Along with that, that will also allow Dybala, our striker, our other center mid, our other winger to go forward as well. So again, it's just more so a little bit of aid on the side that has our center mid on stay back while attacking. For our wingers, we have them both on stay forward, cut inside, and get in behind. Now, stay forward is nice because if you do happen to break the press, they're going to be wide open essentially every single time, or at least one of them will be. If not, there's going to be surely someone like the striker or the center attacking mid who will be open. There's always going to be someone open if you do manage to break the press, but as I said, that's going to be a little bit tougher to do. We also have them on cut inside, get in behind, so then one, they do make those runs in behind, like I mentioned before during our tactics section, and for cut inside, we have that on, so then instead of staying out on the touch lines where it's actually helpful initially, if we get the ball and we are attacking, they will actually cut inside and make some of those diagonal runs. And then finally, we have our striker on get in behind and stay forward. Now, I don't have him on stay central. The reason being is because I actually like it when he drifts to one side or the other, because one, the run is typically going to be open, or two, that's going to free up some space for our center attacking mid to make a run in behind. So as you can tell, there's obviously going to be a lot of attackers and a lot of people getting in behind and making runs, but that's because that will help with an overload. When you do get overloads in the attack, meaning you have more players in the attack than your opponent has defenders, that's obviously going to be a lot easier for you attacking wise, and that means that you're more likely to score a goal. And so the fact that this is obviously an attacking formation with not really any defensive support, that's kind of what you need. Essentially in this formation, you're going to be trying to outscore your opponent. Now, in terms of the players you want in certain positions, for the center backs, it's essentially whoever you want, whoever is very good for you. For the left and right backs, you don't really need them to have any attacking ability. So as long as they are, fast, physical, good at defending, combination of those three, then you're going to be good to go. So someone like the rule breaker Mukiel, that's going to be very, very good, at least in my opinion, because while he's not good going forward, he's still big, he's fast, he can defend. For the two center mids, obviously you want one who's more defensive, you want the other one being more attacking, but for the one that is stay back while attacking, you can get away with just putting a very defensive minded player. So someone like Conte, who's not very good at shooting, that's okay and something that you can actually do for that center mid who is on stay back while attacking, because obviously we have essentially 5 other attackers. That center mid will never really be actually attacking. So along with that, make sure that one, they are obviously very good defensively, but two, that they also have good work rates. For the other center mid, just make sure that they are good at attacking. Essentially, I would probably recommend not a striker like I have in other formations, but Deco here has 51 defending. It's not as if he's very, very good at it, and that's obviously good enough for that position. So again, more attack minded, but someone who maybe doesn't have 25 or 30 defending. Now for the wingers, these guys essentially are going to be dummies in the team. It's not as if you want to just put silvers or bronzes because they don't matter at all, but they're not necessarily the most important players on the field. So as long as they are fast and they have a decent shot on them, that's most likely the most important thing. So someone like Headliner Lozano, who's already good, obviously, but Lozano, who is obviously very fast, so that's going to be good, right? I have Gnabry and I have Ronaldo, so those two guys there, that's going to be more than enough. So now for the striker and the center attacking mid, I'm lumping these two guys together because they are essentially going to be playing off of each other, right? So the center attacking mid is going to be making runs in behind the striker, and that means the striker then becomes essentially the center attacking mid. So they swap positions a lot. So essentially, one, they have to be your best players on the field. Make sure that they are actually, the ones that you are investing the most coins in. And two, they have to be good at everything. Pace, shooting, passing, dribbling. Again, they have to be, like the best players in the team. Now, the one who is maybe a little bit better at shooting you're going to have at striker the one who's maybe a little bit better at playmaking. You're going to have at cam. So in this example, I actually before had Deco at cam and Dybala at striker. Deco would get goals, Dybala would get assists, but most of the time Dybala would get the goals and Deco would get the assists. So that's the same thing in this situation. Dybala will be getting the goals most of the time, and then El Shaarawy will be getting the assists most of the time. However, it was not going to be uncommon whatsoever for El Shaarawy to get the goals and then Dybala to get the assists. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Again, if you do have any questions, let me know and I will try to answer them in the comments down below for you. But like I said, that is going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been DMG. Peace.